Hi, I'm Gabrielle Angel Lilly, and I have a fantastic vision for a future with more peace and less killing. And I have this personal vision of a global network of Unity community centers. And I'm super pumped to tell you more about that. But before I do, I want to tell you the story about a little bit about my background that helps explain why I feel like I am the perfect person to help facilitate this network of performing art community centers, basically Unity community centers, I like to call them. So I was born out of wedlock. My daddy's name still isn't on my birth certificate, and then I grew up largely in a northern New Mexican community where I was a minority, and so lots of things piled up for me where I ended up feeling illegitimate, excluded, like I didn't belong, and I could go on. But I know these are very familiar feelings. I know I'm not alone in feeling alone because, I know many people for various reasons end up feeling like they're excluded or they don't belong. And that's part of my vision is I really want to help create these spaces where all people are aware that they do belong, where we remind each other how we belong, what we have in common, and celebrate our differences in a peaceful, positive way. So I was locked up as a teenager after a little bit of it was kind of a magical childhood in many ways, but there was some bullying and some overlying feeling excluded from my family. And then I got in some trouble. I was had a little bit of inappropriate interactions with a dominant male figure in my community. Not inappropriate on my behalf, but just to clarify on his behalf. And then later, when I was 13, I had sexual interaction. I had sex for the first time with a 23-year-old man. I was consensual, but I was 13, and I ended up getting in a lot of trouble for that. A sequence of events following that, I ended up running away, getting arrested several times, finally locked up, being given to this, being a ward of the state for a short time. And during that time, a couple of weeks of being locked up and being in custody, not just in custody of the state, but a ward of the state, which is different, where basically your parent says, I for whatever reason, can't handle, in my mom's case, I mean, like if your parents died or various reasons, you could end up a ward of the state. In my case, my mom said, I can't handle her. She's out having sex and drinking and sneaking out. And so I don't know how to, I don't know what to do with her. So please, you have her. Maybe you can teach her better than I can. So I was a ward of the state and in trouble. So I was locked up in juvenile detention center for that couple weeks. And in that time, I was really kind of negatively impacted in many ways, as some of you may be able to relate to. Incarceration kind of instantly changes you when you get locked up like an animal, and another human being treats you like an animal. And literally, we got treated. I mean, we weren't like horribly abused. It's just that we weren't treated like humans anymore. We were treated like something less than human. We were given kindergarten paper instead of school. A woman blowing cigarette smoke at us through her little cage, behind her cage, kind of provoking us because we weren't allowed to smoke and we were teenagers. Just you start to get treated inhumanely, and it starts to change you. You start to act like an animal. You start to think of all the negative things you're going to do, or you start to believe the story they tell you about how you're never going to amount to anything, and you're never, now you've messed up your life and you're not going to be able to fix it. So sorry, I got a little emotional there. There was 2 little moments in that 2-week period of time that I was locked up that an adult treated me like a regular human being, just a kid, and a kid who deserved to be listened to and treated humanely. And it made such a, sorry, I just got choked up. I'm going to have to pause you. All right, so it made such a positive difference to me, those little specks of time where where a person treated me like a person, even though we were so different. They were the counselor or the person who had the keys to my room, and I was the juvenile delinquent who was locked up. It still made such a significant impact on me, and I carried that with me for years. I still do. I'm 47 this year, and that happened when I was 13 or 14, and I still carry the memory of that feeling of feeling like I might not be human anymore, and then having somebody treat me like I was human. Sorry. I don't know why it's been such an emotional day for me for some reason, but in any case, that was enough about that. You get the idea of why it's really important to me. I feel like it's my destiny in a way. I don't know if I quite believe in destiny, but it makes a lot of sense for me and to have had this vision. And it was literally like a vision. And what I'm standing in now is the result of it's kind of my training grounds for this vision I had. I'm going to show you around just a little bit. I call this the Head Hutt. We're down in the bottom floor of it. It's a stone, custom mosaic, natural and not natural stone floor, and experimental lime, and just all kinds of learning went on in here. And then there's a whole upstairs, which I'm not going to show you at the moment because this video is already getting pretty long. But I wanted to talk to you about this network, global network of Unity Community Centers, because I'm going to need a lot of help to get it done. I'm going to need teams of people. I'm going to need supporters. I'm going to need funding. I'm going to need ideas, people to bounce my ideas off of. That's what I was trying to say. And I welcome your input in any way that you feel inspired, if any of this resonates with you. And I know I'm not alone in my endeavors since I've been inspired to do this. Lots of people I know have been developing community centers, and I hope to hook my network up with lots of other community centers out there that are into sustainable living and human expression, creative living. Evolutionary leadership is a cool buzzword I heard recently. All of that, I want to connect these two and just be a part of that growing global network, which is already growing out there with and without me. And my part, I want to build this global network. I had envisioned 50 that would connect to at least 10 more. But for starters, let me tell you about the first one I want to build, probably here in New Mexico, possibly in Colorado, but I'm kind of got my eye on the Space Center stuff down in southern New Mexico that's going on, and I'm in the process of putting together my website so I can start hitting up potential partners that might like my vision and help me steer it in one direction or the other. But my actual vision for this first Unity Community Center is 2 sleeping dragons. They're actually, my business name is Sleeping Dragons. See the link below. But my vision for this is 2 kissing dragons. So their mouths would be coming together, and their heads would be giant greenhouses, their bodies as they curve around. So they're in a big circle, and in the middle of the circle is an amphitheater, an outdoor space, but enclosed, that we could probably cover if need be. And as climate change is continuing to throw us lots of loops, I think it's important to build community centers that can withstand all kinds of climate shifts. And so it would definitely be designed to do that. They'd be circular, but these 2 they would also be very stylized, very stylistic. The wings will be solar panels and have some solar, hopefully those cool Elon Musk's cool shingles. But anyway, that's a little ahead of myself there. Let me just give you the overlay, which is circular, 2 kissing dragons with their heads being like greenhouses that grow vegetables, and those vegetables being used in the cafe. One belly of a dragon being a little kitchen and cafe, tapas cafe, and a little art gallery, local art gallery. And then the back tail being, of both dragons, being play spaces, creative art spaces, sort of similar to some of the stuff that Meow Wolf is doing, in that they would be art installations done by locals and change over time and be highly interactive with passers through. And there would probably be a free section and then a paid section, and also paid and free shows in the amphitheater outdoor. And then on the other belly would be like a library, but not a lot of books, maybe some books, but mostly a high-tech library with positive streamed, with hand-picked positivity-based media, so that parents and travelers and frequenters could have a quick access to a already kind of vetted, if you will, positively framed media that's hopefully going to help put you in a positive state of mind when you're there and when you leave. So I feel like this video got really long all of a sudden, so I'm just going to wrap it up a little by saying that I need your help. I need your input, and I'm going to need your help working and financing local. So I'm going to put some links down below. Those may change in the future, so if you're interested, you might come back, especially if they don't work right away. And I will be working on the website where you can sign up for specific parts of this project and put your input more directly to me. But if you need to, in the meantime, please just either shoot me an email. My address, nmgal777@gmail, and other addresses and links are down in the description below. I'm going to wrap it up there and say thank you for listening. If you're interested, if any of this resonates with you, please let me know. And till next time, peace.